Hey everyone, this is Wayne, founder of uglymugmarketing.com and creator of the Freelancers Freedom Formula. And today I'm going to quickly walk you through the 15 most common mistakes that freelancers make that hold them back and prevent them from reaching their goals and ultimately the success that they long for. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. Mistake 1, often freelancers have the wrong mindset. The wrong mindset about what, you ask? First of all, they believe that success is about being right. And the more you're right, the more you're successful. Well, this is the wrong mindset. Success is not about being right. Success is about getting results. And more specifically, it's about getting results for your clients. When you get results for your clients, indirectly, you will get the results you're after. I'm reminded of the old Zig Ziglar saying, you can have everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. And that's so true as a freelancer. If you shift your focus from trying to reach your goals to helping your clients reach theirs, your entire world will change. It's also important to remember that success isn't a measurable or quantitative thing. No, success, it's emergent. What does that mean? That means that success emerges out of the actions or the inactions that you take. It kind of evolves from those things. It's not something like, when I reach this revenue, I'll be successful. No, it emerges out of the daily actions that you choose to take or the daily actions you choose not to take. Your success or lack thereof emerges from the time, the energy, and the effort that you put in. So keep that in mind as you go forward into this year. To succeed, you must shift your mindset. You must let go of the fact that success comes from being right. You must let go of the fact that when you reach X or Y, you'll be successful. You've got to embrace the fact that success comes from delivering results for your clients. That success comes from the emergence of the actions or inactions that you take each day. Treat everything as a test. View each project, each client that you're dealing with, view that project as a test. You're trying to see what works, what doesn't work, and most importantly, you're trying to determine what will help them reach their goals. View it as a laboratory where you're experimenting. One time you try it this way, the next time you try it this way, all with the intention of creating results for your clients. You've got to learn to give up on having to be right. It's okay to fail. It's okay to try something and for it not to work. Give up on being right. Stop pretending to have all the answers. When you view everything as a test, you have to give up on thinking that you have to have all the answers because you don't know. When you test things, you're testing because you don't know if it's going to work. You don't know if it's going to succeed. You don't know if it's going to fail. So give up on having to have all the answers to all the things. You also have to believe that more challenges equal more opportunity. So whatever field that you're in, it's challenges, it's the challenges, the obstacles that your clients face that result in you having the projects and the jobs that you have. It's the result of their challenges, the things that are holding them back from reaching their goals. That's the reason they're contacting you in the first place, to help them overcome those things. So view the challenges as more opportunities. The more challenges there are, the more opportunities there are going to be for your company. You've got to fail fast, learn, make revisions, and try again. That's the key. The key is you've got to learn from those failures. You're going to fail. Learn from them, make revisions, and try again. So let's go ahead to mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 is you don't align your values. What does that mean? You need to work on aligning your values with those of your customers. See, we often look internal and we think, well, how do I align my values? How do I align my values so that I enjoy more of what I do, or I don't have to focus on doing the things I don't want to do? Instead, you need to work on aligning your values with those of your ideal customers. If you're passionate about design and they're struggling to pay their bills, your values are in conflict. See, you're concerned about winning the next design award. They're concerned about paying their bills. Your values don't align. You've got to work to align your values with those of your customers. And depending on the industry that you're working in, the values of your customers could be a little bit different from industry to industry, from organization to organization. Your job as the freelancer, as a trusted advisor, is to align your values so that your values and their values are one. Mistake number 3 that freelancers tend to make is they confuse charity with business. These are two completely different things, and they often, as a freelancer, they often get sucked into wanting to give and help, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But they don't have a clear distinction between what is a business transaction and what is a charitable gift or donation or doing good. Giving things away rarely pays off. Trust me, I've learned this the hard way. When I first started Ugly Mug Marketing, I would try to give things away to get my name out there, try to give things away to kind of make connections with certain people that I thought would be beneficial for the business. And it rarely paid off. It often just led me to being more and more frustrated. You and only you are responsible for making money. Not the person that you think you're going to give something to and then one day in the future they're going to come back to you and reciprocate that, with a paying project. You and only you are responsible for making money for yourself and your business. The more you give, the more they're willing to take. And that's not saying that people are dishonest or people are evil or people are greedy. No, it's human nature. People are going to take as much as you're willing to give. Never forget that. If you're willing to give them a 5-page website for free to get your name out there, they're going to ask for the 6th page. Why? Because you're the nice guy who's already given them 5, and that one additional page is really something they feel they need. You see, so you have to be aware of the fact that the more you give, the more they're going to take. So don't train your clients in that way. And I see it happen all the time with freelancers. They believe by giving things away to certain people that eventually that will pay off. And rarely does it pay off. Ending the cycle of giving things away is rarely going to end with a positive outcome. So I'm going to go ahead and warn you of that. So when you've had people who for years you've been giving things to or giving them extra or giving them discounted rates, when you go to them and say, look, here's the line in the sand, unfortunately I'm no longer going to be able to do that, it rarely ends in a positive outcome. Sure, you, from your perspective, you've been giving to them. You've been providing either free services or a lot of additional services for free over and above what they're paying for. From their perspective, you're the nice guy who's been helping them, and now you're going to stop. So they're going to be upset by that, and that's okay. You have to be okay with having them upset at you for no longer giving your time, your energy, your effort away to those who are not willing to pay for it. Mistake number 4, always saying yes. You've got to learn to protect yourself by learning to say no. Accepting every project that comes your way is like a cancer to your future success. What do I mean by that? As you grow from a freelancer who's working project to project and you transition into a business that can operate and generate revenue whether you're working or not, you've got to learn to let certain projects slide. And what you'll discover over time is it's very difficult. It's particularly difficult when you've been working with a client, for example, and you've been doing their web and their print and their social media. And you decide as you grow that you only want to focus on web and print design. It's very, very difficult when they come to you and say, hey, can you help us with our new social media campaign? It's extremely difficult to tell them no. And through the back of your mind, you're going to say, yeah, well, if I tell them no about this, then they're going to find somebody else to do social media. And when they find somebody else to do social media, that person will probably also do web design and print design. So they'll probably end up using them for everything. And I'll lose the client. That rarely happens. Trust me, it rarely happens. And if it does happen, it's okay. You will find someone else who aligns with where you're going with your company. You'll find another client who is looking for you as the expert in the few things that you specialize in. Instead of being the jack of all trades, you need to focus on being the master of a few. Specialization is where the money is. You see, when you say yes to everything, it prevents you from delivering remarkable service. See, you can't truly be remarkable when you're the best web designer, you're the best print designer, you're the best social media expert, you're the best at doing offline marketing, you're the best at copywriting, you're the best at this, you're the best at that. You see, First of all, that hurts your credibility because everyone knows you can't be the best at all of those different things. And it also prevents you from being remarkable in the focused thing that you do. You damage your position in the marketplace as a result of that. The fifth mistake that freelancers make is they look like everyone else. Fear is what prevents you from stepping out of your comfort zone, from stepping out of the industry norm. So let's say that you're a web designer. As a web designer, chances are very good that you operate within a box, within a comfort zone of the web design industry. We all do it by default. Even if you're very contemporary, you're very modern, you're very cutting edge, you still operate within this design. Fear is what prevents you from stepping out, because what will your peers say when you design a new website that looks like it was built in 1990? What will your peers say when you design a website that looks unlike anything that's ever been designed before? It's fear. Fear prevents you from stepping out. Fear of offending others. Fear of being wrong. Fear of being ridiculed. All of these things are fear that keep you within the confines of that box. Without differentiation, you become a commodity. What makes you any different than the designer down the street? What is it? What makes you different? You've got to differentiate yourself. Here are some keys to differentiation. 1, to begin to differentiate yourself, you must define what you stand for and what you stand against. See, it's very easy, and we often identify really quickly what are the things we stand for. So, maybe we stand for modern design. We stand for providing remarkable service. We stand for X, Y, and Z. But what do you stand against? What are you against? What is it that makes you irate about the industry? What is it that makes you irate about the way other freelancers treat their clients? What do you stand against? Let your clients, let prospects know those things, what you stand for, as well as what you stand against. What are your company values? What are those things? Remember, we talked about just a little bit ago. What are your values? And you need to position your values in such a way that they align with those of your prospective clients, those of your customers. You want to show them that you're a good fit, that your values align perfectly with theirs. Number 6, the 6th most common mistake that freelancers make, they confuse their role. For the first several years, you're going to wear many hats as a freelancer, and particularly if you decide to transition yourself from a freelancer who's constantly relying on project to make ends meet into someone who has a business that legitimately provides revenue and generates projects without their attention. So for the first few years, you're going to wear many hats, from sales to marketing to finance to design to coding to cleaning the office space, if you got an office space, etc. You're going to have to do all of these things. But despite the busyness, never lose focus on the fact that your primary role, no matter what your passion is, your primary role should be the Chief Marketing Officer. And what does that mean? That means that above it all, your job, your desire should be to constantly and continually market yourself or your business. That's more important than the design. That's more important than the coding. That's more important than selling. That's the most important thing. Here's a couple of quick questions that can help you position yourself and your mindset around your role as the Chief Marketing Officer. Question 1, ask yourself this every day. What have I done to attract a new client today? Question 1, let me repeat that. What have I done to attract a new client today? And then question 2, what have I done to keep an existing customer? What does that mean? That simply means, what have you done to an existing client, an existing customer, so that the next time they have a project that comes up, you're the first one that comes to mind. So ask yourself those 2 questions each day, and that'll really help you maintain the right perspective, the right role for yourself in your company as you make the transition. Your role as the Chief Marketing Officer, to sell prospects on your business, to sell previous clients on sending you additional referrals, and to sell potential team members on joining and being a part of your vision of where you and your company are going. That's your role as a marketing officer. Also, you want to sell current team members, obviously. You don't want them leaving and going to your competitor. You want to sell them on staying with your company. The two questions that can help here is just to recap, what have I done to attract a customer today? And what have I done to keep a customer today? All right? It's a great idea to have everyone on your team, including your subcontractors, answer these questions each day. What have they done to attract a customer? What have they done to keep a customer? And it's going to be difficult. I can tell you, it's not an easy question, particularly for freelance subcontractors to answer. For example, you may be working with a graphic designer. How can they possibly answer the question, what have I done to keep a customer today? It's your job as the leader to create opportunities for them to do those things. That's your job. I can give you some ideas. I'm not going to go into that now, but it's very doable. So those are some things to think about. Number 7, the 7th most common mistake that freelancers make. All of us have heard of it, scope creep. This is when you allow clients to alter the deliverables after a price has been agreed upon. Plain and simple, this is stealing from yourself. When scope creep occurs, you're basically taking money out of your pocket and throwing it on the ground. Why? Because that's time, energy, and effort that could be and should be invested in something else, whether that's another project for another client or whether that's internal work. For example, working on improving your systems, working on improving the way you market yourself and your company. Those are the things that you should be doing. But when you allow scope creep to occur, you are stealing from yourself. So how do you prevent scope creep? You have to have a clear understanding of what the client expects. Not what you believe the client expects. No, what the client actually expects. The best way to do that is through written contracts, through written agreements, so that they know, so that you know, so that it's very crystal clear what's expected. Write out what you understand the client expects and have them sign off on it. So ignore the terms of service. Ignore the term contract. Simply bullet point out, here's what I understand that you think I'm going to provide to you. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever. Have them sign off saying, I agree. Put something on there that says, I understand that if any additional changes or modifications are made, additional fees may be incurred. That's all you have to do. It helps protect yourself. It also gives you the ability to say, look, per our original agreement, here's what we agreed to do. I believe this is going to be outside of that original agreement. You also have to establish clear communication about what's going to happen if the scope changes. You may allow some variance. So you may say, we understand that it's a complex project, so we're going to allow up to 10 hours of additional changes, modifications to be made. Or you may say, if any changes are made that are not in this contract, the following fees will occur, X dollars per hour or whatever it may be. So it's your responsibility. It's not their responsibility. It's your responsibility to establish clear communication about what's going to happen if the scope of the work changes. Now let's look at the 8th mistake that freelancers often make when trying to rapidly scale or grow their business, and that is not having contracts. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, yeah, but you don't understand. My clients are honest. They're nice people. They would never do anything to harm me. They would never not pay me for my services. And you're also probably thinking, I'm an honest person as well. I would never not provide what I say I'm going to provide to my clients. The thing about it is, a contract is made for honest people. It's also made for dishonest people. A contract is there to protect you regardless of the integrity of the person that you're working with. And so you've got to start using contracts. Now, piece of advice here, don't call it an actual contract. Because, in American culture, contract has a bit of a negative connotation. What I mean by that is people think when they hear the word contract that they're being locked into something, they're being forced into something. And no, that's not what I'm talking about. What we're talking about is an agreement that you and your client come to terms on where you agree to provide one thing in exchange for something else. In other words, you agree to provide a service, a product, in exchange for revenue, in exchange for their money. And so we use the word our terms for remarkable service instead of the term contract. And then when we go sit down with the client, when they're ready to write the check, when they're ready to begin the project, we actually sit down and walk them step by step through our terms of service, through our agreement. Now, here's the benefits to you of having a contract. First of all, it forces you to be specific about exactly what you'll be delivering for your client. So it really forces you to detail, to blueprint out the exact scope of work on what you're going to be delivering. It also helps you focus on the result. What is the end result that you're going to be delivering for the client? Another thing it does is it provides a good reference document so that you can go back and make sure that you're keeping the project scope in check. The client can refer back to it as well, making sure that they're staying within the scope and the ramifications of what you agreed to provide. A contract also helps position you as professional and legitimate. What do I mean by that? Well, think about it. The most professional companies, the most reputable companies, the most reputable freelancers, they all utilize contracts. And so by you not having a contract, you're communicating a message to them that you may not be as advanced in your business, that you may not be as trustworthy as someone who does have a contract. What are the benefits of the contract for your clients? See, that's a whole side of it that most people never even think about. But the reality is a contract actually has a lot of benefits for your client as well. It gives them peace of mind, knowing exactly what you're committing to provide them. It also sets their expectations. When done correctly, your contract will align their expectations with exactly what you're going to make happen. So in other words, they're looking for results. Remember, we talked about alignment of values earlier. They're looking for results. They're looking to communicate their message to the world. They're looking for improvement. They're looking for growth. When you word your contract in such a way that it shows that you are here to help them align themselves with their goals, when your products, when your services will help them reach those things, your contract serves as a powerful marketing tool for you as well. So those are a few of the benefits to them as well as you for why you need a contract. And the final one is it just simply protects them. It provides documentation of your commitment to provide your product or service. So now let's look at the 9th mistake that freelancers make. And this is one called a target launch date, or TLD as we call it. By not having a target launch date on every single project that you start, you are making a huge mistake. You see, without a target launch date, your project is going to end up in purgatory. What do I mean by that? I mean it's going to end up in this in-between place. It won't be starting and it won't be finished. It's just kind of in the middle. It's just stuck there. It doesn't ever seem to get out of that spot. You have to set a target end date. Not only do you have to set a target end date, but you have to get your clients to buy into this. We actually use a written document and we bring it in on our very first meeting with a client. When we're starting a new website, for example, we have a web launch kickoff meeting. And we bring this physical document in, a target launch date document, and on there it details and blueprints out exactly what we're asking them to commit to. We tell them, we're asking you to help us launch your website by this date. And here's all the benefits to you, Mr. Client, Miss Client, for helping us hit that. And here's the benefits to us for helping us hit this date. And so we position this in such a way that we communicate to them that we want to provide them the absolute most remarkable service they've ever experienced. And the only way that we can do that is to allocate X periods of time for the project. And that's exactly what a TLD document will do for you. It gives the specific target launch date. It gets the buy-in from the client to help you reach that date. A good TLD document will provide the expectations for both parties, not just one party, but for both parties involved. The 10th mistake that freelancers make is they do not provide a warranty for their clients. How's that a mistake, you think? You may be thinking, well, I don't ever provide a warranty and I just bill everybody for everything from the minute I deliver. Well, that's great for you. That's good. But a warranty will even further your position. A warranty will even help you go further in making additional revenue off your clients. Let's look at the reasons why a warranty will help. There are two huge advantages of providing a warranty. One, it helps strengthen your position as a reputable company. I mean, think about it. What company, what product can you buy today that does not come with a warranty? Right? There's virtually very few products that you buy today that don't come with some form or fashion of a warranty. And so by providing a warranty, you're communicating to them that you stand behind your product or service, that you know what you deliver is going to give the results thereafter. Second, it provides a very clear framework, a date for when and what exactly you're going to start billing the client for. Say, for example, that you just built a website for a client. You launched it roughly about 60 days ago, and you get a phone call. The client says, hey, we were trying to make some adjustments on our website, and we noticed that this certain feature or function didn't work. We need you to take care of that for us. So the question is, do you charge them, do you not charge them? Well, from their perspective, they may not be expecting to have to pay. After all, they think, we just launched this thing and it should be working. Why isn't it working? You should fix it. From your perspective, you may be thinking, I built the site 60 days ago. I'm not going to fix this for free. I've got other new projects I'm working on. Who's right? Who is right? Well, from your perspective, you're right. From their perspective, they're right. A warranty removes all of that. So no more having to worry about when you're going to bill, when you're not going to bill. The warranty should detail out exactly when their warranty will end. For example, 60 days after your website launches, and exactly what will be billable expense and how much it will be billable for. What rate will you bill them at? So a warranty will relieve so much stress from your life. A warranty will relieve the pressure of trying to figure out, do I bill, do I not bill? So make sure you get a warranty, make sure you develop it out. Regardless of the type of product or service that you're delivering, you need a warranty. The 11th mistake that freelancers make is they don't set clear boundaries. You see, boundaries are critical to management. You have to have boundaries in place. Without boundaries, everyone ends up frustrated. You end up frustrated, your clients end up frustrated, your team ends up frustrated, your subcontractors end up frustrated. Why? Why is that? Because everyone has our own internal set of boundaries that we kind of allow to govern, to rule the way that we live our lives and the way that we operate. The problem is other people don't necessarily know what our boundaries are. So your boundaries may be that you're not going to accept phone calls at 8 o'clock at night from clients. Why? Because you've set a boundary that 8 o'clock at night is time with your family and you don't want clients interrupting that time. Well, your client doesn't know that unless you communicate that to the client. So you've got to do a good job of not only establishing boundaries, not only documenting boundaries, but then communicating those boundaries to everyone around you, to your clients, your team members, your subcontractors, etc. Boundaries allow for great self-management. So if you set clear boundaries of what's expected, for example, from a subcontractor, if they clearly understand, my boundaries are this, I'm to deliver each day a report on the progress that I've made, and if I don't deliver that report 2 days in a row, then I'm jeopardizing my working relationship with you. You see, that's a boundary, that's expectation, that's guidelines, and that helps them understand what you expect, and it provides that frame of reference so that you're not frustrated, so that they're not frustrated. The 12th mistake that freelancers make is pricing too low. This, number 12 and then number 13, are the two biggest mistakes. Listen to me, the two biggest mistakes that freelancers make. Mistake number 12 and number 13, which we'll touch on in just a second. So let's talk about pricing for a second. When you price yourself too low, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. You're basically taking money out of your own pocket and you're tearing it up. You're throwing it away. Your clients don't understand that you're giving them a deal by pricing yourself too low. Your clients don't understand the value of the service you're providing if you're pricing it too low. You're also doing a disservice to the clients because you're training them to expect great service, great products for very low prices. And so then when they go out into the marketplace, let's say that you end your relationship with them, they then go out into the marketplace looking for someone to replace the product or service you provide, and they realize that everybody else is higher. Yeah, they're happy that they got a great deal from you, but they're dissatisfied because their expectations were falsely set. And you're the one who's going to set those expectations too low. So it's your job to make sure that you're pricing correctly. By charging too little, you're conditioning them to expect low prices from you. So when you do decide to make the change to increase your prices, to start actually charging what you're worth, what happens is your clients get ticked off. Why? Because for all this time, you've been giving them such a great deal. You've been pricing yourself too low. They didn't know that. But now when you try to go correct it, they get ticked off. So am I saying you shouldn't go increase your prices? Absolutely not. I actually believe that most freelancers could, within 12 months, double their billable rate, their hourly rate, and really not affect their business at all, meaning they're not going to lose business. Sure, you may lose a few clients, but overall, you're going to be far better off by having yourself priced as a premium provider in the marketplace. You see, pricing too low communicates the wrong message. It communicates that you're inexperienced, or even worse, that your work is subpar. So think about this, for example. So let's say that I've got a sports car that's for sale. You don't know anything about it. You don't know the brand. You don't know the name. You don't know the color. All you can see in the distance is I've got two sports cars. I tell you, I've got one for sale that is for sale for $150,000. And I've got another one for sale that's for sale for $25,000. Which of those two in your mind do you think is worth more money? Which of those two do you think is the better sports car? The $150,000 one, right? Why? Only because of price. In our society, we've been trained to believe that the higher the price of an object is, or a service is, the better quality, the better results we're going to get from that product or service. So stop now. Listen to me. Stop hurting yourself. Stop hurting your clients. Charge what you're actually worth. Price yourself to the value. Remember, we're aligning our values with our clients. We want to deliver results. Price yourself to align with those values. Number 13 is getting trapped. This is what I call the artisan trap. I first heard about this from the author of Predictable Success, Les McCowan. And he talked about how people fall into this trap called the artisan trap, and this is why most businesses end up failing. It's not because they run out of cash or they run out of money. They just simply get tired of the same thing over and over again. They get frustrated by the fact they can't seem to break out of this repetitive cycle. So what is the artisan trap? Here's how it works. You go out and you sell somebody a new website, and you're all excited and they're all excited. You tell them you're going to build them and deliver them the most amazing website in all the world. And so you go to work, you get busy doing the design, you get busy doing the layout, you get busy doing the wireframes, then you get busy doing the coding, and finally you launch the website. They're thrilled, you're thrilled that it's over, but you look around and realize, uh-oh, I got to go sell another website. I need another project. So out you go out and hit the streets and you find another web project and you sell another web project. And then what happens? You get busy, you get them all excited. You're all excited about building this great new website and you get busy delivering the product. You launch it and then you realize you've got to go out and sell again. You've got to do the whole process again. And you see it's this repetitive cycle that ends up trapping most freelancers. They get stuck here and they can't seem to get out. Look, here is the solution. I'm about to show you how to get out of here. And I want to warn you, it looks really, really simple. And it is simple, but it's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of discipline to implement this. So to get out of the artisan trap, you need to create for yourself something that I call the freedom formula. And this is what the freedom formula looks like. So to get unstuck from the artisan trap, you've got to sell continually. Remember, we talked about your primary role should be the chief marketing officer. You should constantly, continually be selling yourself, selling your company. Sell, sell, sell. But as soon as you sell, you hand off part of it to be fulfilled. You hand off some of it to be fulfilled so that you can then focus on selling. Now, I know what you're saying. Yeah, but I got into this because I'm a great, graphic designer and I love graphic design. And that's why I started doing this. Okay, well, think about it for a second. So you're a graphic designer and you started building websites because that's what your clients wanted. So what about coding? Do you really like coding? No, not so much, right? So what do though? You end up doing the coding because it's a quote unquote necessary evil. I mean, after all, you can't have a website without coding. So you do these amazing designs, and then you do the coding, and then you launch it, you deliver it. And then what? You're back in that artisan trap. See, what if instead you just focused on the part that you're passionate about, the design, getting that right? What if you just focused on that part and you handed off the coding to someone else so that you could then focus on selling and doing the design? Selling, doing the design. You see, your job has to be to focus on continually selling. Never stop selling. And as you grow, as you progress your business, what you'll discover is that this formula right here, sell, 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 and hand off the fulfillment, is how all the biggest companies get to where they are. They realize that in order to get out of the artisan trap, they have to continually sell. They have to continually sell. And like I said, it's not easy to do this. Yeah, it's simple. This is simple. The formula is simple, but it's not easy to do. But it can be done. I promise it can be done. That's exactly what we've done in Ugly Mug Marketing. So now let's look at the 14th mistake that freelancers make, and that is chasing magic bullets. You know, there's always that latest and greatest thing that could catapult, if you just had it, it could catapult your business to the success level that you only ever dreamed about. There's always a new magic bullet, always. You know, in the web, for a while, it was MySpace. If you just had a MySpace page and you knew how to leverage MySpace, then that was it. Then it was the next thing, you know, was maybe Facebook. If you just learned how to master Facebook, you could catapult yourself to success. Or maybe it's LinkedIn, or maybe it's Twitter, or maybe it's Pinterest or Instagram, or whatever it may be. There's always another magic bullet. Stop. Don't worry about chasing the magic bullet. There is always another magic bullet. Remember what we said earlier. Success is an emergent. It comes from the small, unglamorous things that ultimately lead to your success. So give up on the magic bullets, stay focused on the small daily disciplines, and you will ultimately end up being very successful at what you do. And the final mistake that freelancers make is not asking for referrals. If you're not confident enough in your skills, your ability, and the product and services you deliver to go ask a client for a referral when you're done with the project, you're doing the wrong work. What do I mean by that? You've got to be delivering such a remarkable value, such a remarkable product to your clients that at the end of it, you're confident enough to walk in and say, Mr. or Miss Client, I know that I delivered a remarkable product or service for you. I know that you're thrilled with the results that you're already experiencing from what I gave you. Who do you know that could benefit from my expertise? So if you're not that confident enough to walk in and face-to-face ask them for that, you need to figure out why. Maybe you're in the wrong business. Maybe you're not fulfilling the products in the way that you need to, or the services in the way that you need to. But you've got to figure that out. At the end of it, you should simply say, who do you know that could also benefit from my service? It's that simple. Ask them for one name. Who do you know? Which one person who could benefit from my product or service? If you do that with every single project you complete, you will double your business in the next 12 months. Well, I hope that you've really enjoyed what I've shared with you today. I hope that you'll actually take it and apply it. Remember, success is an emergent. It emerges out of the small little things that get done. So I hope that you'll take it, take daily action, choose one or two of these things each week and work on them, improve them, implement them in your business. Look, if you're looking for additional resources and additional help, visit freelancersfreedomformula.com. On there, you'll find additional resources and tools. There's even a 22-page workbook that will take you through step-by-step how to implement some of this stuff, how to escape from the artisan trap, how to charge more, how to systemize your business. So thanks again for taking the time to listen to this. I hope you've enjoyed it. Look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks.